She just needed time to get ready. She's a she. She needed time to put her makeup
You
on.
think that's a she?
Do all the things. She's very delicate.
Hey everyone, welcome to this week's Talk Sip Time. We're Chase and Kay with Fine Reserved Experiences. This is both No Label Wine Company. Every week we bring the bottles, break them down, and give your honest take on them. Let's get into it. So this week we are doing Napa versus Bordeaux. It's a big debate among the wine world. Some people are strictly Napa people. Some people are strictly Bordeaux people, as we thought when we first met you. So it's just we need to dive into why people need to try both and what the differences are.
Yep.
So this week's more about I want to say this is more about region to region more than just the two bottles that we have here, but we are going to compare the bottles and get into all of it.
And I will say, you can Google a bunch of Bordeaux, you can Google a bunch of Napa, the high end. If you're starting to taste wine, I would just kind of go basic. We actually kept these two bottles of wine at a decent price point. They're both under $50 or more close to the $40 range. But like I said, they're both great in their own way. But just, whenever you're starting to try different things that you're maybe not used to, I think you can do that with a lot of great options. So these are, just two of the ones that we chose. I guess we can get
that's
into
classic Napa.
the first one. So the first one is Faust. It's a 2023 straight from Napa Valley. It's actually 100% Cabernet Sauvignon. It is actually, if you've heard about the big name Quintessa, you've probably seen their iconic tasting rooms on Instagram. If you're ever looking to go to Napa Valley, it's beautiful. By the way, we've been to Quintessa. This is actually their second label. So I haven't tried it yet, but the boys have.
It's Napa. It's big. It's in your face. It's also very young, so it's got some time to kind of settle out. But
a lot of bold fruit that hits you, but still extremely young. This is their current release right now, and it's a 2023, so it's young. It probably has a decent mid left.
What are you looking at?
The wine is it's tannic.
Mm-hmm.
The alcohol is 14.7.
Yeah, it's high.
It's a little hot, but
it's
big.
Color. It's a big.
Rich. Like it's just a very rich wine. The color
on it.
The color's kind of leaning towards
ruby. A little bit more purplish.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. I wouldn't totally just, we've tried some 2023s lately from Napa Valley. I think they're very, very young. However, their year was actually very cool. They had a longer winter, kind of similar to the cake bread that we tried on our first episode.
Yeah, everyone we
That was a 2008, but it was a very good year. So sometimes these wines in the front, they're very bold. They're a little bit more
much.
Yeah, like it just takes some time to kind of ease those tannins a bit. So maybe, if we revisit this in a couple of years from now, we might think totally differently. But I do think it's still a little too young for my taste.
But back to the Napa versus Bordeaux thing, I don't think it's any different for Bordeaux. It's going to be the same thing.
Absolutely.
I don't think many Bordeaux's are ready to drink 2 years later or 3 years later. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Unless they're made to be.
Yeah.
And some of them are. Some wines are pop and pour ready, but you also got to remember release date.
Yeah.
Release date says a lot about the winery itself.
Yes.
Because, so quoting back to our Portugal wine, that is their current release.
The 2008.
2008. So it doesn't justify the age, but sometimes you can't get a hold of these wines from other regions that quick.
Well, that's a good segue into the next bottle, which is a 2006 Château Peyrabon. It's not their current release, but it may have been released. What? How long ago you think you got that? Year or two? Maybe?
I would probably say a year.
A year?
Maybe. Before I was introduced to it at all.
So this is an 06. So this Bordeaux can buy its own Bordeaux. Almost. It's 20 years old.
Oh. Now I see what you're saying. Yeah, and the color's beautiful.
Okay, wait. I need y'all to go back because originally, this is going back, viewers, to the first time that I started to work with Chase and Kay.
Here we
Y'all
go.
both drank
They both-
California.
Yep.
Viewers, I'm not saying they didn't drink good California. Let's make that very clear. You know, but y'all were still drinking very young wines as well.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all have some that are very prestigious, vintaged. You're aging some yourselves. What made the swap whenever we started to interact with each other? Y'all got to give me some.
I'm gonna let you.
some
You want to start
insight.
it, or you want me to?
I mean, I can. I think for the longest time, we love to cook. And so
Yeah.
that was kind of what we did. We got a bottle of wine and we said, hey, we're pairing it with this. And I still love doing that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I think sometimes with Napa cabs, the best thing that pairs well with them is a big bold steak. And you can have as much fat as you want. And it's going to pair beautifully because it's going to kind of tone down some of these tannins. So I think the thing that kind of made the switch for me is whenever I started trying vintage Napa cabs and kind of let that progress and the tannin just soften and just felt silkier, smoother, almost more elegant. And I feel like that's sometimes you can get that with the Bordeaux that's aged a little bit longer, but their tannins are just a little bit softer, I find, and just more elegant. So, and that's not all of them, but the ones that I've tried, I'm going to say.
My thing is, I find that they have a very similar structure because, especially because we tend to pull left bank. It's got a lot. It's more Cabernet driven, so the structure's still kind of there. It's kind of the same, but you get more of the terroir, where it's from, the soil that it's in, and then you start getting that kind of earthy aspect. Excuse me, earthy aspect to it that just there's something about it you can smell. You can pick up the. You can make me walk outside, switch these glasses around, make me pick them up, and I'll be able to smell it. Just because the Bordeaux has that earth on it, like
And I
the
know,
cedar, the graphite, the pencil shavings. It's
and I will tell you, like for our listeners that think, you know, we just got into this journey probably a couple of months ago. I
the
mean,
Bordeaux part of it.
yeah,
Yes.
it wasn't long ago. And I will tell you, like the more you try and the more you know, go through all the senses of tasting wine, whenever you smell a wine, you can just you start to kind of pick up those similarities that you can tell, hey, this is from Bordeaux, this is from Napa, you know, and we're kind of learning and venturing out into more than just Bordeaux and Napa, of course, but you can kind of start telling those things. And
Mhm.
it takes practice. It's not you're going to pick it up the first time, but whenever you have them side by side, it's kind of a cool comparison. To
We
be
had
able
a
to
really
go
great
back and
analogy
forth.
given to us last week at your wine shop, actually. It was, you can tell where a wine's from if you can picture the people from where the wine is from. Like this was it Napa is more kind of big and loud and out there, whereas the French is more kind of
Subtle elegance.
yeah.
Mhm.
And then you get into the Spanish wines and it's a little bit more sexy and all like Italian, it's
Herb
still
forward,
big,
cooking
but it's
focus.
like it's food focused. So that was pretty neat to hear. And that when he said that, things kind of clicked for me.
Mhm.
Like you can taste the people that made these wines in them.
Yeah.
Like the personalities of the people where they're from. And that may be a little deep for the listeners,
Whenever
but
you
when you
first
dive
start.
into it, is I don't do anything halfway. So when I dive in, and that's where I've gotten with it.
And I mean, you know, to be fair, we kind of compared these wines just because they were a common price point.
Yeah, not
It's
necessarily
a little unfair to kind of go
vintage.
from a current release to something that's been
I mean,
aged
again,
for 10 years now.
this is a current-ish release.
Well, they have the 2008 now, so I don't know. It's not probably not
Right.
their current, but
Yeah,
No, current.
we're
It's
moving into the new current year.
Yeah.
We're just not presenting the current year.
yeah.
And that speaks to I want to address them towards the wines themselves.
Mhm.
This could be, a little subjective to everyone. California is like has a structure that I find is like not as complex.
Mm-hmm.
Now, once you start to play into the older years, like Kay was saying, into the more vintage bottles themselves, those can show expressions,
Mhm.
but they had different times. It was different
Well,
people, you
well,
know.
that's like episode 1. Kay brought a Napa Cab that was from 2010,
Yeah.
and
I
It
think I
kind
messed
of
up on that
caught
earlier.
it called me up, but in the end,
no,
I
you
still
knew.
I
You do.
still knew because you just referenced earlier tasting how many wines I have tasted and setting side by side. If I'm ever going through a tasting and I'm able to have multiple glasses,
Mm-hmm.
I'll keep a little bit in them. So that helps me to learn to blind taste more,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
to truly differentiate what the aromas present, how they present themselves, what's the color look like,
Right.
because that stands point towards the grape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the nose can also tell you if it's a blend or different things like that. You look at the hue, you look at the body
Yeah.
in the wine glass just to tell age for the most part. And then you can taste it between tertiary notes and different things like that. I just find that Bordeaux, French wines, Spanish wines, Italian wines,
Mm-hmm.
they have a little bit more finesse
Yes.
Yeah.
to them. It takes these people generations to truly master this,
Mhm. And I
I'm
mean,
not saying that California doesn't produce stuff like
No.
that, but I just find the finesse and the different things from Bordeaux are a little bit more to be desired by me.
Yeah.
that's fair. Yeah.
It made me think of like when we travel. They can smell the American on us from a mile away when we go somewhere, over like in Europe or
Yeah.
something. That doesn't mean that it's a bad thing. Just like Napas are big and bold and kind of in your face, like most Americans are, but that doesn't mean that it's not for someone.
Yeah. And I mean, whenever you're looking
And
at,
I still love Napa Cab. It's just
I mean,
I'm gonna I'm gonna go back and forth between these two for years. I'm not gonna not have
I
Napa
was
Cabs
about
in
to
my
say,
cellar.
you don't have to choose one or the other. It's not
no.
a hierarchy standpoint.
Right.
It's just
No.
introduction of new things.
Absolutely.
Yes,
I
and knowing
mean,
the difference in
it doesn't mean you have to truly move to the point where you don't drink it again.
correct.
In my journey through this world of wine, I stepped over the United States.
Yes.
I just like
It's
omitted
almost
it
a
for
it could
yeah.
be a bad problem to have because you go straight to the heavy hitters and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I can't go back now.
So what I do then is I explore. I
Right.
find the more smaller vineyards, the more
Mm-hmm.
mom and pop places,
Yes.
Yeah.
the things that like if you're in that region or country, if you blink, you'll miss the entire vineyard.
Yeah.
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 Like,
Yeah. Those little,
they still produce very, very great wines. That's why if you go to France or Spain or Argentina or anywhere like that, try their table wine. Their
yeah,
table wine
Yes.
is the cheapest, but oh my gosh,
it's
it
worth
could
it.
stand so well against some of the wines that we get from their regions here
Right.
in the US.
Yeah.
Because some of
It's
them,
insane.
I think some of them are getting maybe a little, especially in California and the way that we are as Americans and commerce and all that. I think they're getting a little, what's the word?
Mass
Where
produced instead of mom
yeah,
and pop.
they're
Yeah.
trying to be as efficient as they can and make as much money as they can as quick as they can. So I think, and they're trying to grow, right? Which is not a bad thing, but I do feel like some things kind of fall off. The bigger you get, you can't put your hands on every grape.
Right.
So the mom and pop places, they're giving you everything that they've got. They've got their hands in every step of it. And that's not to say that the big guys aren't making good wines. It's just
It's just a different feel and a different product that they produce, and
yeah.
they care about it. I mean, one of the coolest wineries I went to in Napa Valley was Tres Sabores, and she's a female winemaker. She was actually a nurse and decided to quit nursing and become a winemaker, but she had her livestock there. She had her grapes there. She picked it. Her operation was basically in her house. It was one of the coolest farm to table, almost wine making experiences there were. And I think whenever you go from seeing those types of little places that produce a great product to these big, you know, big names that everybody knows, it's the quality just changes. And I mean, they're doing very well. It's not like they're doing anything wrong. I just think that sometimes you appreciate the product because I mean it's farming, it's winemaking. All of these things go into every single bottle of wine, and it's the years. It's not perfect, and obviously there's a lot more science that you could get into and dive really deep into, but it's an art. It's the
Right.
winemaking. It's the area that you're farming, whether it's Napa Valley and what area you're farming in Napa Valley with your grapes and pulling from versus Bordeaux. That
Mhm.
looks totally different. So, I mean, I think there's just something to be expressed in every single one. But yeah,
I think my thing is I'm a romantic at heart. So like everything that I look into, if I can taste this wine and see the the actual mom and pop picking the grapes, making the wine, and all those things, it just kind of means a little bit more to me.
absolutely.
So I kind of taste through that, and when I when I taste this as opposed to maybe this is a little bit more commercialized. That's the word I was thinking about earlier. Commercialized. This may be a little bit more commercialized, whereas this is a smaller operation. It's almost, I don't want to say you can taste it, but I feel like I can. I know I probably can't, but it's just you can almost taste that. To be a little corny, it was made with love.
Yeah.
Not to say that any of them weren't, just
But I will tell the first time we had this bottle of wine,
the Faust. Yeah,
we were actually in Napa Valley and we were looking at a wine menu and kind of stumbled across this wine and then kind of realized it's actually Quintessa's second label. We didn't know that.
yeah, we had no clue.
Um, but it paired extremely well with all the tomato dishes, the big bold flavor. So, like I said, it's beautiful whenever used in the right circumstances. I think if I was just drinking um on a random night by itself, I think I would rather pour this just because the elegance and I don't need anything to balance
It's
it.
almost it's. I
But
don't want to say
this,
easier to drink, but it almost is
yeah,
because
it's
it's.
Y'all think so?
I think it's a little easier to drink just because it's not so in your face. Like you can sit with it.
what?
I think this
The
neat.
Parabon?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
yeah.
the Faust and the majority, it may be 55%, but the majority of Napa Cabs need food, especially if they're current release.
Because I had a duck bolognese the first time I had this wine, and it was
Hmm.
paired beautifully. Like it was a great,
Yeah.
but
Whereas these are more,
I
we
think a
can,
tomato sauce would overpower this, honestly.
yeah, we can sit in our living room and pop a bottle of this and
Mhm.
just enjoy it. It doesn't need the food with it. And I don't think this needs the food for the palate. It needs the food to just kind of settle it down a little bit.
What do you think? Are you opposite?
No, I'm not completely opposite. I mean, y'all know, pretty biased.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
so are we, but I'm
but I
trying to,
still find the Parabon itself. It still has, a good tannin structure to
hmm
it.
Mhm.
Um, you still get that earth. I mean, the like cedar kind of part. It's not overpowering. And then once you move down to the color, that's probably like one of my favorite colors. I know if I see a
hmm
color like this,
It's
I
gonna be
know I'm
good.
not really gonna have
yeah.
a distinctual difference. But now I'm losing out on like the red fruit. It's becoming more.
It's getting more tertiary.
And
And for a Bordeaux, this isn't an old wine. It's still fairly young. It's not, it, if this were a human, it would probably be 40-ish years old on a scale of 0 to 80.
oh, you're talking about like
It's
lifespan?
probably about halfway through its life.
Okay.
I would think maybe a little over it.
And you see, I don't know if my palate is still off from this past week,
Yeah,
from me being sick and whatnot. But this is just, it's juicy.
it
Mhm.
There's,
is.
while this, my entire palate's getting coated, it's getting drawn by the tannins. I'm losing all that saliva in, per se.
You're thinking that the acidity's falling off? You're
Maybe,
losing the
yeah,
saliva?
maybe just a little bit.
Okay.
Like I was kind of looking for that balance, but it still has that silk
Right.
concept of like when you're drinking it, it's just easy flowing.
This
There's
isn't like the high tannins
So
either.
I found it was medium to high. I think you could.
But like while with this one, the tannins are there, but they're very low and
For which
pronouncing.
one are you speaking of? The
Faust?
The
Faust.
Faust,
You saying
yeah.
they're low?
Yeah. So
Okay.
like go from drinking this to drinking this. And like guys, when y'all are tasting wine, please like let the wine swish and push it through all of your mouth for at least like 10, 15 seconds. Truly let your palate coat with the wine. That's where you're able to start tasting different things.
Now that you pointed out, there might be. I would say this has higher tannins, and this might be just me. I mean, maybe a little bit higher than this. I mean, this still has some tannins, but I think this might be a
Definitely
little
not as
higher.
big as this.
Yeah.
And like I
Okay.
just think that's why I choose Bordeaux is because it's so lovely to see a tannin structure like this in a wine that's this old.
Right. I
Now,
think that goes to what I have going on right here. I'll admit when I'm wrong. I think this one is the alcohol content so high that I'm almost mistaking it for tannin. Like that kind of burn, that gritty feeling. It when I met you, I told you I like big bold Napa cabs. I want to finish a glass of wine and feel like I need to chug a case of water after. That has changed, but I just caught myself. I took a sip of this and I immediately needed to drink this because I had dried out. It just, and that's not a bad
No, I
thing.
get
That's
it.
what I used to love, and I still do like it. But it's
And
it's just
usually going in between tasting different wines, I usually don't um, take a sip of
well,
water.
yeah. That's I caught myself going to the water, and it was like, oh,
But I'm just like pushing my palate to be able to differentiate without over consuming, to say the least. If I do it 2 or 3 times, I don't need to do it again.
mhm,
And I'll usually just resort back to where I'm comfortable because I know that's what I like.
right,
But Chase, you said something earlier. You got to think Bordeaux has sediment. So does older Napa cabs, but sediment can be experienced almost in every glass unfiltered.
are you getting some? Oh yeah, there's a little.
Like
Mhm.
once you get down to the bottom of your first pour and you lean it over,
Yeah,
you'll see like the trickles of different things.
yeah.
You got to get it a little bit lower than that.
Yeah, that's a little too high.
Personally, for me, that's not a problem.
No.
Whenever I'm indulging women or, friends and their wives come or different things like that, or say if it was you, we didn't sip this bottle, but normally if I'm putting on something for someone, if there's women there, I'll try to sift it all out
Right.
just for,
And
And
we'll typically do that. Again, guys, for just to clarify, we drove in from the beach today, so we kind of threw this together last minute because we needed to get this episode filmed. Uh, so we didn't have. I don't. After by the time we unpacked and everything and got everything set up to shoot, we didn't decant this at all. This was we opened it,
maybe about an hour.
what I
aerate,
call
opened it and
pop and
aerated.
pour.
We did aerate it.
But
We just didn't decant it and let it softly open.
so really, you didn't need to decant it, because
I think
I
this one.
consider this a pop and pour.
I think this
Mhm.
one may have needed to be. I think this one.
Oh,
I think if
I
we.
mean, any Napa cab that I've drank, no matter the price point,
Mhm.
they all gotta open.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, those wines, we're talking about time limits like we're talking about when we drink
Yeah, 2-3
big
hours.
Bordeaux's, So some people just don't have the time.
Right.
I personally just don't have the want, I
Yeah.
guess.
But like
That's fair.
I encourage, like, if you open a wine and you like pop and pour ready, or you think it might be pop and pour ready, you pour it, you're like, I don't know about this. Like, I encourage you, like, leave the glass alone, go do something else for,
Yeah,
30
and
minutes and come
revisit
back
it.
and taste it. It might be a totally different wine. And I mean, we've had that happen to us. And we're like,
And
I don't know if I like this wine.
there was
And you just have to give it some time.
a bottle we leaned on calling it schizophrenic because every time we poured we took a very long time drinking the bottle. It was a very prestigious bottle. It was Stag's Leap's Cask 23, which is the one that won the Judgment of France in '76. So, but it was their 2012 vintage. We popped it, and I have a tendency to. This is just what I wasn't taught, but this was my research. When you uncork a bottle, take a very small, and you can kind of tell how much it needs to go.
Oh no, that's just to check the wine.
Well, yeah,
To
check
see
it.
if it's flawed or
Well, yeah,
anything like that.
but also you can tell if it's pop and pour, or if it needs.
Oh. the like the label and the wine itself will tell you that. Not just the smell. We do smell tests and different things like that to check the quality of the wine for serving.
Well, right.
And before we move on, I'd never meant it to come off as I don't want to wait that long. I do the same thing with high end Bordeaux's.
Yeah.
We don't wait.
Yeah.
We just pop and pour. That's not, some people will condone it, some people won't.
Mhm.
But I found that it's helped me to truly become better at drinking wine.
Because you see it through the whole bottle.
Yes, even though we're drinking, 82s, 97s, 94s,
Yeah.
it just, those wines, they still need to open up the same way that a 24 or 22 Napa Cab does. The thing is, we just don't have the time nor the want to. So
Yeah.
we just pour them in our glass and just, like you and Kay said, y'all spent that bottle revisiting and watching the evolution of the wine.
It was a different glass every time we poured a glass.
Yeah.
That goes to show quality in the winemaking.
And
Yeah.
it's not like it progressively goes up the whole time or progressively goes down. There were ups and downs of. It's not like the second glass was good, third better, fourth best.
No.
It went up and down and kind of.
I think the best way for me to be able to explain this, and like correct me if I'm wrong, but like your flavor profiles, your those flavors are still going to be there. It just depends kind of what's hitting you more. Like I feel like sometimes the tertiary will hit at different times, and then your fruit might hit. So like it just depends on how long you let it sit. And every single wine, it might not be on the back of the label, but you can definitely look at. I mean, there's this big app, Vivino. They'll tell you kind of what they recommend decanting, or if you want to go that route, or if you just want to say, I want to try it now and see if it'll make it to that point. You can do that too. There's no
experiment
wrong
with
way to do
things.
this. There really isn't.
Go buy the $15 bottle and pour it. Set time limits. Pour it at 0 minutes. Pour it at 45 minutes. Pour it at an hour and a half, and see where you like it, and then that'll tell you
And I mean,
how long you need to.
decanting can also just be you pour it in your glass and just wait.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
it doesn't have to be more complicated than that.
It opens up in the glass just as good as it does in the decanter, and probably a little bit better because you're sitting here playing with it the whole time.
Yeah.
What are you laughing at?
Oh.
What? You disagree?
I mean, only with certain parts. I mean, I would not say, you got to be a little bit more specific whenever you're talking about what to decant and what not to decant. Some grape varietals, they don't need to see that much air.
Right.
Right.
I mean, especially if we're talking about younger, cheaper bottles, those really shouldn't see the inside of a decanter. But
experiment with it.
The alternative would be to have the aerator.
Yeah, and
that would be your more suitable way for, like, personally, I didn't start there, but people that are young like me, that would be a good place for them to start.
Yeah.
Especially I would recommend using it with different regions for sure. It'll speed up the process a lot.
Yeah.
Some of those bigger wines, they are not sure what these are. They don't know what the grape is or how the grape exposes itself in the wine. Because a Cabernet Sauvignon grape itself produces high levels of tannin.
Right.
So, in a lot of the wines that I drink from the left bank in Bordeaux, they offset that with Merlot, which is a
Yes.
very softer,
Mhm.
to cut the tannins, but also to liven the wine in different aspects. I might not be able to quite explain that to you just yet. I've been trying to do some more studying, but that's just one more example to show some wines are just different in the way that they expose themselves for current release
Mhm.
Right.
in a different region.
Yeah. Well, we talked about earlier, some aged, more mature Napa Cabs, and we talked about some aged, more mature Bordeaux's. I think it's a good time to take a break because we have something to talk about when we get back.
Yeah.
So we'll be right back. We'll see y'all guys. Hey guys, we want to take a quick second to thank y'all for listening along with us. Every like, comment, and subscription genuinely helps us keep opening and showcasing these incredible wines. Everything we do here at Talk Sip Time is about introducing y'all to great wine in a way that feels approachable and fun and not intimidating. And as we continue to grow, we're excited to keep bringing you these new bottles, new regions, and new experiences every week. So if there's a bottle, region, varietal, or pairing you'd like to see us explore, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop your suggestion in the comments. We'll do our best to feature it on a future episode. Thanks. All right, welcome back, guys. It's been about, 30 minutes? It's time to revisit and see what our little experiment did to both of these wines.
Sure.
Which one are we going with Faust first?
Yeah.
I mean,
Let's
go
just go in
whatever
order.
Yeah,
order
that's
you
fair.
want.
I do like it better now.
Yeah.
Got a little softer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I feel like the fruit might be more enhanced this
Yes.
time.
The fruit's more enhanced.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good. Now the Bordeaux, on the other hand,
She just needed time to get ready. She's a she. She needed time to put her makeup on.
You think that's a she?
Do all the things. Yes.
Okay.
She's very elegant. Oh gosh, that's a good taste.
Yeah, that's
that's
phenomenal.
You're calling that
For $35. We bought that bottle for $35.
I know. I'm a let the viewers know that's one of my go-to bottles. I have bought almost probably a case of that wine within the last couple of months.
When we thought y'all wouldn't get any of it, we bought y'all out of stock because it's $35. We don't feel bad opening that on a Tuesday night just because we had a rough day and want a bottle of wine.
This is our third bottle this week of that wine. Because we did enjoy it with other friends at the beach, but
yeah, we brought
it's
2
a great
bottles
bottle.
to the beach.
But yeah, it is nice.
But this is all kind of tying into the theme of this episode, Napa versus Bordeaux. I don't think, and this is nothing against Napa or no favoritism towards Bordeaux. I just don't think you're going to get such a well-composed, well-made wine from Napa Valley for $35.
Well, maybe. Okay, you got to think young wine, 30 minutes. This wine, they're composed differently.
Right.
The winemaking processes are two totally different.
Mm-hmm.
This wine will never be able to be this wine.
And this is
Just
one.
this won't.
This is 100% cab. Also of notes, so, and this is a blend. So I mean, you're never going to get the same.
Say the blend.
But even then,
I can
they're
look it up.
still going to evolve differently over time.
Right.
So,
It's
you know,
just I tend to find personally that the price ranges aren't equivalent. And if you guys have noticed, we have 2 bottles right here that we added on. We're not going to open them yet. Those are very special bottles. But we have a 2012 Cake Bread Dancing Bear Ranch. This is Cake Bread's, how would you say, coup de cuvée?
yeah.
This is their top, like, you can't
Members
get,
only. It's very hard to get into it.
I had to do some sketchy things to get that bottle.
Hey now. Hey now.
Like, contact a wine distributor. Let me make sure.
Yeah,
It's all legal
I
things,
had to
but
call.
yeah, we
I
had
call
to
restaurants to see if they had it
get
in
this
stock
bottle.
to get that bottle.
But normally it's members only. It's very, very exclusive. The Cake Breads distributing. But I mean, you know, you look at Dancing Bear from Cake Bread. You look at Opus One. There's a lot of big, big names, and these cabs are going to run you. And a current release, it's not going to be,
I didn't buy this as a current release. I bought this from a seller for $250. That Cake Bread Dancing Bear.
What kind of seller? Was it a winery seller? Was it a?
I don't want to plug them just
well,
yet.
No.
But it was
you don't have
a
to say it like
distributor.
that.
Yeah.
It was a.
But like it's almost like an auction house kind of thing.
Kind of, but they retail everything.
Yeah.
So I think you can, from the way I understand it, is like if I wanted to cellar wine at that location,
Facility.
I can, but they also offer these things online. So if I say, hey, I
Right.
want this bottle, particularly the Dancing Bear, they would contact that owner of that bottle and say, do you want to sell it for this much? So they probably get some
Yes.
type of
Okay.
storage
So it's
fee.
That's what I wanted to
Say-
break down.
Yeah.
We
Say
needed
I
to
have
see.
that cellar and I outgrow it. I need to rent cellar space from somebody. I pay them for the space, but I tell them, hey, these are the bottles that I have that if somebody wants to buy them, you can sell. So that's one of them that apparently that person had that wanted to sell. And I jumped on it because we've been hunting it down for a while.
Yeah.
Hey, that sounds like something viewers, if later on, or if you're moving or something like that, that is a good way of going about that.
Yeah.
But it's also just a good way outside. If they do have a online website, I mean,
Instead of spending the money to add on to your house or to buy a big fancy wine fridge or something, you can have it professionally stored.
And maybe make some money off of it too. If you don't,
Yeah.
if you're willing to give up a bottle, there's a money making opportunity as well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to the Château Peyrabon because I know we said this was 100% Cabernet or
Cabernet Sauvignon.
Cabernet Sauvignon. This is 59% Cabernet, 31% Merlot, 7% Cab Franc, and 3% Petit Verdot, which is that's your classic Bordeaux blend. But there is, I will say, Napa Valley does do some Bordeaux blend, so just be on the lookout. But
Bo, read that label. That is a Bordeaux blend.
The Dancing Bear, yes, it is.
Yeah, the Dancing Bear Ranch is a Bordeaux blend. It's much higher in Cabernet Sauvignon, I believe. I think it's 90%.
95% Cab, 5% Merlot, which this is actually impressive to see. I didn't notice this before. You don't see very many bottles that actually show the percentile of the grape varietal.
So if you look behind you on the wine rack, we have a bottle that we finished of the 21. It has different percentages. I'll grab it for you.
You're gonna grab it?
Yeah.
It's
yes, we are kind of hoarders that don't like to get rid of our special bottles, but that has a lot more different grapes in it.
Now it is. I will say it's very rare. There is sometimes you have to get on Google or ask maybe ChatGPT, those types of things to figure out the grape varieties.
That one's more of a Bordeaux blend, I think.
But it is helpful to kind of start realizing what grapes you're.
It uses the same grapes. It's just got, I think it has some other ones in it other than just Cab and Merlot.
Yeah, Cab Franc.
It has Cab Franc in it. Okay. But all that to say, we were getting to the point of That is a 2012 $250 bottle. Whereas on the Bordeaux side, this is a 1986 Chateau Montrose, uh, which is a second growth. We're not going to get into the classifications just yet, but if you want to look it up, what a second growth means, it's basically a second tier.
I'm gonna say for just beginner,
Yeah.
it's you have your first place wines and you have probably about 5 of those in the Bordeaux
Yeah, it's the
region.
pyramid.
This is
kinda.
the second place essentially, and this was given by King Louis.
Back
I can
in
go into like the history buff of
1855?
that, but
1855.
yeah.
Grand Cru in Classe
Yeah.
1855.
But this is the second place essentially. This is the classification that won second
But
place.
this is a phenomenal wine from a phenomenal producer. It's 1986. Can y'all guess how much that bottle was?
I know, so I'm gonna
Do you
exclude
know?
myself. Well, I know what you at least went for an auction.
I did get it at auction. That does change it a little bit.
Second label, 86. I'm not really too sure about Montrose. I've personally never had the experience.
It was $180.
Okay, wait, before we move on, I want to add on to what Kate was saying. Keep going where you were. No, I'm done, forgot.
Okay.
I'm
We'll-
sorry.
we'll
did I cut
revisit
y'all
that.
off?
That's okay. So how 180
$180 for that
and that
40-year-old bottle.
but I
that
mean
I can't wait to. I'm looking for an excuse to open it, listeners. So if y'all would comment in the comment section that y'all want to see a review on that bottle, please do. Then she can't tell me
we
no.
need to hit a milestone. So I'm gonna say let's get some more followers,
Let's
share
get
this with
to
your
50
friends.
followers. We'll open one of those bottles.
Okay.
50. Our first 50
Subscribers.
subscribers, followers, whichever one it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Depends on the platform.
So if we do that, I say we hold off on K's just because K has a little bit more time to her wine.
Yeah.
Just looking at the vintage itself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm okay with
I
that.
feel like we should hang on just a little bit.
Yeah.
Montrose, it'll be a treat, but please keep in mind always there's could always be a flaw to a wine.
Right.
And it could
And that actually might make for a good episode in showing the listeners
to show in real life.
Hey,
I will say
there's bottle variation. Not every bottle's the same.
Bo one time brought this bottle home for us and it was terrible. But
There
was a good reason.
Not that the bottle was terrible.
Let me explain it. So the bottle was actually great, but he brought us, he's like, I am bringing this for a learning purpose. And it was because the bottle, I'm not mistaken, it was corked. But he's like, I want you to taste what this, was it that right?
Yes, it was
I don't think it was corked. I think it was cooked.
Cooked. Okay. But it was a learning experience.
Yeah.
Okay. But it was a learning experience
But it
of
was fun,
tasting these things. And I would love to, I'm reading Wine Folly right now, but like going through those different tasting notes, because I remember whenever I would order wine at a restaurant, I was always so intimidated whenever the waiter gives you this little taste and you're like, okay, it's good. And I would always say it's good. I wouldn't say it was ever bad, but I think now I know what to look for and say, wait, there is a problem with this bottle.
And you can absolutely send it back.
Absolutely. And not feel bad about it.
Yeah.
It's learning those things that are important to know, especially whenever, let's be honest, whenever you go to a restaurant, the wine is always going to be marked up. They have to get it from somebody. They have to pay for it and they sell it to the consumer, right?
And the whole process is a bit intimidating if you don't know what to look for.
And you're going to spend more money than you would if you would just buy these outright. So it's worth getting what you paid for and knowing that information to make good on what you're spending,
Yeah.
I like how you said that. It's always just about making it worth your spending because the restaurant does want to know as well. A lot of times these people are hand sourcing these bottles as well. We're almost all on the same level.
And you're speaking from experience.
Yes. I've seen bottles ranging anywheres are just overexposure to oxidation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Depending on how many times you showed the bottle or different things like that. There's always a structure to it, but it never hurts if you're in these environments and you find yourself in these environments very often.
Mm-hmm.
they're always going to ask you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
What do you think?
it's never not going to happen.
Yeah.
So what does it hurt to maybe be able to give honest feedback and not just look at it and be so scared that you don't understand,
Right.
that you either ask them or you kind of do some research for yourself.
Yeah.
And odds are, most restaurants restaurants that we're talking about where they do the thing for the taste and all for you, that's not a sommelier serving your wine. They may know less about the wine than you do.
Yeah.
They may. I'm not saying they all do,
But
but
the thing is, you got to ask.
yeah.
Right.
Always ask.
Because I mean, there's some local restaurants that we go to, and some of their wine lists are impressive, and some of the people that are there, they are level 1. I don't know if we have a level 2 sommelier where I'm thinking, but they definitely
think.
know the wine that they're serving, and I mean, I remember one of them. We decided to go to Cake Bread based on a recommendation we were given at dinner, and the wine was great, and I found some even better bottles there. But
Yeah.
it's kind of, it gets you a starting point. But I think just knowing kind of how to communicate with your waiter and say, "Hey, I really like these notes. I really like a big bold Napa Cab. I really like a Bordeaux."
Learning what you
That
like is the
can
main
get you
thing.
so far, because if these, most of the servers, just like whenever you go to a restaurant and you order a menu item, they can tell you what their favorite is. I mean, I always ask that. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm in between these two. What should I choose? Same thing with the wine. If you're able to tell them, I really like this, some of the higher end, if you're really having a bottle to indulge in, I think they can kind of lead you in a good direction if you kind of know a few basics and just, hey, I really like this flavor profile. I really like a Napa versus Bordeaux versus Spanish wine versus Italian wine, depending where you're eating. It's helpful. And so I think we need to do an episode on that, just kind of talking about going through a wine menu, smelling faults, those types
Oh
of things.
my,
But I
that
think
is
that's a
such a
whole,
good point.
Yeah.
Because you also got to think some wine lists curate their menus as like interesting whites
Yeah.
and different things
Yeah.
like that, and sparklings considered to champagnes,
Yes.
because
I think if we did that episode, we
viewers,
might need a couple
champagne
guests.
and sparkling
Yeah.
are two different things.
yeah,
Do you agree? I think if we do that episode, we're gonna have enough wine that we need some guests to come in, and we know a couple people that
Oh,
might
of
might know,
course.
might
I
know a little
think
bit.
Yeah.
I think y'all's friends would be.
Oh yeah.
yeah. I mean, we have some friends that like to drink wine, which is helpful.
Yeah. And might find it more tell you how they found it more approachable.
And
Well, considering if if you go out with your significant other a lot, it's a little bit different for me. But you know, if you're going out for a meal that's pleasant for the both of you, you would like a nice bottle. So
right.
you want your server, or if they can get someone higher up that knows a little bit more about wine, to be able to help you correctly. But
Yes.
servers, then again, also know the dishes that pair well against the wines that are featured on the menu.
Yep.
It might not be your wine special, but it'll be a wine that
goes well
is
with it.
Is overseen by more than one person against a meal. And Kate can almost tell us better than me and Chase can. But just I do a lot more studying in a different standpoint. It's in interaction.
Yes.
And in
you focus mainly on solely the wine.
Yes.
look, we all have our
bad.
No,
it's not. Like,
no,
I think that's what makes it.
Just like you've helped us with digging into the wine, we're kind of trying to start to help you dig into the pairings to put it all together.
During the break, we were kind of talking about like our relationship and how this kind of organically formed. Obviously, this is my husband. He's going to be in my business plan no matter what. So, partners in life, partners in business. But Bo here, whenever we decided we are actually going to go to Bordeaux in October, and I really fell in love with Paris, so I wanted to go back to Paris, and Chase really likes to drink wine on vacation. So we kind of decided, let's go to Bordeaux.
That could have
And
sounded really bad.
no, it's a good thing. So we decided that we were going to go to Total Wine and figure out the region of France that we wanted to go to. And we got a bunch of Bordeaux. And the way I said this is, whenever you unfortunately go to a fast food restaurant and you say, hey, I want a Coca-Cola, and they give you a Dr. Pepper and you go to taste it and it's just not what you expected. Well, that's what happened. We tried all these Bordeaux's and we were expecting
But
big, bold Napa cabs.
That's all because we're
And-
both very stubborn people,
Absolutely.
and we're looking for what we knew we liked.
Right.
We weren't looking to branch out.
So whenever we tried it, we didn't like a single one of them. And honestly, we talked about it. We looked at the flight of wines that we
upset.
tried.
I'm
I
upset.
want to revisit those wines knowing what I know now. And
I'm very upset that we just kind of wasted those wines.
yeah, but the thing is, I think now I understand is I'm going into a tasting blind. I'm not expecting this to be a Napa cab. I'm not expecting this Napa cab to be a Bordeaux. I might have a preference on which one I like more. But I think if you go into it with an open mind and just say, what am I getting? Not expecting the same taste. Because, I mean, if you like a Diet Coke, every single time you drink a Diet Coke, you want that crisp carbonation, those types of things. You're not going to get the same thing. Even if I pull another Bordeaux off the shelf that we have, it's not going to be the same thing as this. I think you can appreciate different things, but you just can't go in with a preconceived notion, if that makes sense. So we go over to this local wine boutique that Bo works at, and we were said, hey, we want to go to Bordeaux. He recommended so many wines for us that were not out of the park because, I think that's really intimidating whenever they'll say, oh, this is a $250 Bordeaux. And I'm like, I don't even know if I'm going to like this. Why am I going to spend that with my first bottle trying these things? And we kind of worked our way up, tried some expensive things, tried some, I love this bottle. It's really reasonable.
Yeah.
So we've tried a whole bunch of different things. So I think that's the cool thing in this relationship is we are kind of pulling him back to America because he kind of skipped that step in his wine journey. But I think we are going more with Bo and saying, hey, let's try Bordeaux. Let's try other things that we're not really necessarily used to. So I think that's kind of the cool combination of everything. Is everybody has their different strength and different palettes.
Yeah.
But I think together, I think we bring a lot to the table and we're learning together. If anything, if we keep on continuing to learn and pull each other in that journey, I think that's really cool.
And I like how you said that because the open-mindedness of each one of us that sit at this table, that's where it lies. Yes, I might have skipped America. I didn't really truly skip it.
I know
All
you're
in all,
right.
viewers,
Yeah.
I was tasting it through time, but I was never tasting the things that I wanted to because I'm comparing my French life to my American life in my tastings.
Right.
I can't.
But I think
It's hard.
It's of note that you didn't start drinking wine the way that
Everyone else in.
We just walk into a grocery store and pick a Napa Cab and Merlot, a Sauvignon Blanc, Chardonnay, and figure out which one we like when we start drinking wine, and then it's okay. I like Napa Cabs. Well, whereas you were kind of guided, and it was here.
We have a more curated.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I did want to point that out as well. Viewers, the place that I do work, our entire selection is 90% curated.
Yeah.
That means that
And it
we
shows.
taste 90% of what
shows.
And yeah, like Kay said, I mean, just the introduction to wines like this, I truly do know in a certain standpoint, I might not be able to convey all of the things that you truly want because I'm sorry, I can't pick those things out myself.
Right.
Yes, I am a level 1, but
You're working on it.
My knowledge is used and absorbed in different ways from the people that I did work with.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say level 1 is just a
No.
benchmark for where
I feel like that almost sells you short almost.
It
I
does,
mean,
it
completely
does.
honest, because of the knowledge you just have, and just you're
And-
around this every day. it's a refreshing
I think
treat for
it'll
us.
show a little bit more when we pass our level 1, because y'all can compare our knowledge right now. It's vastly different.
Mhm.
But when you see that we were able to get our level 1, you'll see like just how short you're almost selling yourself by saying
Yeah.
you're a level 1, because I truly believe that you're such a better sommelier than that. And I don't want to make your head too big where you can't
Well,
walk
no.
out the door. But
And I truly do appreciate that. That is such a
of course,
compliment.
you've helped us tremendously.
It's just I can't portray that very far because it could come off
Right. A little
in a misperceived
pretentious.
way.
Yeah.
I was given this opportunity and every opportunity that has been given to me in these times.
But you've done a good job with what you were given. It wasn't like you just sat on it and
Yes,
said, I'm
these
just going to ride
these people not only just gave me the opportunity, they tested me with
Yes.
that opportunity. It wasn't all just for free. It was
it. Mhm.
for the understanding, the knowledge, the experience,
Mhm.
but also you need to be able to work with people
Mhm.
and help them guided in the right direction.
Yeah.
Because this world is not easy to maneuver.
Yeah.
The
People are stubborn.
vocabulary that we have to use,
Yes.
I tone it down a lot now.
Well,
I'm waiting for y'all to pass level 1, and then we'll boost
Bump
up
it up a
our,
little
Well,
bit.
we had-
boost up our vocabulary.
we had some great friends that watch, just like great friends do. They watch the podcast. Shout out to Bobby and Zach
Rebecca,
Yeah.
too.
and Rebecca. But Bobby and Zach texted us after episode 1 and said, hey, just a little clarification. What are tannins exactly? So that's kind of, we need to, not that we need to go deeper into it, but
Well,
if y'all do have questions,
we will
ask us.
at a
We
certain
will.
point, because that's what needs to be explained in the way that a wine presents itself.
Right,
But
because
also-
if that helped them go to a restaurant that a week later and say, hey, I don't like
Something
high
as
tannic wines, or
So
I
you
like it really tannic,
Mhm.
that helped them dig a little bit deeper into wine to where they could find what they like. And that's the whole point
Yeah.
of what we're doing.
And look, like if y'all might ask a question that we don't know, but hey, I love that
We
because
will
I
find the
can
answer.
I was
Find
about to say,
the
We will find the
now
answer.
we're
And
about
I
to
can
become
talk about it.
groundhogs.
Yes. So like
We're
I
gonna
love
dig
that.
it.
So ask the questions. I mean, we're all in this. We're at beginning. Some are more advanced, some we're getting there. But like, this is what I love about it. It's more the whole goal of this is to explore. So if we keep exploring together, increasing our knowledge, I think it's just
Right.
you can't go wrong with it.
And I like how you brought that up, that a true viewer and patron that watches us asks the question, but now you have enough knowledge, you need to maybe suggest, what about trying a Pinot?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Pinot won't cut through the tannins of a very gamey type of meat, but it could be used in a more elegant style.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I love a good red Burgundy.
Yeah.
We need to.
We
That's
need to
a,
dive into
We
it.
don't talk about it much.
no,
but
we
red
haven't gotten into
Burgundy
that because I'm scared for my
is-
wallet.
Oh, you are right.
Yeah.
I'm scared for my wallet to.
We're
because I know
already
I'm gonna
scared
love it.
about our wallets. I mean,
Yeah.
we have Montrose and Cake Bread 12
Yeah.
on the table.
It's a
I mean,
problem.
I think our pockets are already kind of hurting.
Yeah.
A little
They're not
bit.
opened yet, though.
I did get fussed at for that.
So it's
also.
an investment as of now. No, we're gonna open them on the podcast. I promise you, coming to an episode soon. But
I
yeah.
love that.
yeah,
It's
but I do think have a starting point. Don't. That's just my opinion. Don't go for the crazy expensive bottle. See what grapes you like. I mean, I keep a wine journal. I need to bring that on the podcast one day. But it's helping me understand what I like, the grape varieties. I'm putting the percentages and saying, hey, I really, don't always like, because I always think, oh, I like cab, like I want a cab. But there's other varieties too that are in these. Sometimes they're on the label as Cabernet Sauvignon. But they're not always that. They're a mix or a Bordeaux blend, but the major percentage is that. So sometimes it kind of helps you to realize the different things that are in it too that make the wine what you like.
So I love how you said that. Just because they have cab on the label does not mean it is 100% cab.
Right. I think we talked about that
Mhm.
in episode 1.
Different regions have different percentage based regulations that they have to abide by.
So,
That's digging a little bit deeper. Uh, every region is kind of different.
yeah.
So that was such a good point to make, to point out to the listeners, and we'll dig deeper into it a little bit later.
Yeah, we hope to be in this for the long haul to where we can get into every little detail of everything that anybody wants to know. For now, we're just kind of trying to cover a broad scope of things while still being
It's because
uh
we're all still learning
right,
as
right.
well.
We
You
don't
know,
we
we're
don't have
exposing our palates to each other. We're exposing our likes and dislikes to each
yes.
other. You know, we're expanding because, like Kay said earlier, they're drawing me back to revisit California.
Yeah.
But um, I've always said I wouldn't really bat an eye towards California at young ages because I'm looking for that more older, pronounced
Yes.
standpoint.
Yeah.
And Kay has showed out every time.
Yeah.
You know, with her
Yep.
white, with her red, she's chose. Not saying that it's ultimately changed
Yeah.
my mind, but it's nice to know
That there is
because
There's
it's
something
logged
available.
forever now.
Yeah.
With me, my palate has had the chance to try it, understand
Mhm.
the wine, see it through. I can see a wine,
Yeah.
so
It's just it's been great. The whole journey of it. And again, this was called Napa versus Bordeaux. There's this episode. It was called Napa versus Bordeaux, but that's not to say that one's better than the other, or you need to drink one and not the other. We're just trying to give y'all the facts. Um,
I try to introduce y'all to new things
Yeah.
each and every time.
Yeah.
I mean, what? One was Portugal, two was Lambrusco.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Wild.
it's like these are things that people really just don't know about. And don't get me wrong, I do have the desires for all the collectibles and different things like that. But there also are mom and pop places
Yeah.
Mhm.
that do create very, very good wine.
Mhm.
It just depends on the standpoint and do you know about them?
Yeah.
I want to be able to walk onto here each and every week with y'all
Mhm.
and show y'all something different.
Something new.
But I always find myself falling back to French just because my knowledge there is
So bad.
Well,
very
there's a reason.
concrete and in my palate outstands the knowledge.
But I firmly believe that there's a reason that these two regions are so world renowned.
And they combat each other
They do.
almost.
This is a Cabernet. It's 100% Cabernet. This is a Cabernet driven. So the grapes are the majority of this one is the same.
Yeah.
Which is when I first started digging into Bordeaux, I dug into Left Bank because I like Cabernet grapes. But they may both be Cabernet driven, but they're very different wines.
Oh,
And it's
Well,
of
yeah.
course.
And
there's a reason that both of these regions are so well known worldwide. So it's worth digging into both of them. And that's why we wanted to choose bottles that weren't overly priced. We
But-
didn't want to get into the big hitters yet.
Right.
Because
But
we have two of them right here next to it. We'll get into that later. But
I think it's also worth noting too that like Bordeaux's been around for, I mean, years and years and years.
the
and years.
classification started in 1855. Napa started making Cabernet Sauvignon.
Exactly. So I'm not going to say Napa's a new kid on the block because I think that's
What is
probably
the 60s.
Considered New World.
It is.
Yeah,
No,
but it's
but
newer, right?
It's the
But New
1960s.
Okay, but the thing is, y'all need to know this is considered New World. This is considered
Right.
Old World.
Right.
Mostly any other foreign region is considered Old World.
Right.
Yeah.
Only the U.S. is
America's-
considered New World because
America's new to it.
Yeah.
That we started. Napa Valley started making Cabernet Sauvignon wine I don't want to say the wrong thing, but I believe it was somewhere around the 60s.
But when did they get put on the map? Like the Judgment of Paris?
The Judgment of Paris was in 1976.
And there
That's
was
when they got.
two.
It was this. I'm gonna geek out for a little bit right here, so y'all bear with me. It was the 73. So in the red category, the 73 Stag's Leap Wine Cellars Cask 23 won for the reds. And I don't know the vintage, but it was Chateau Montelena Sauvignon Blanc won for the white.
And that really put Napa on the map.
Right.
So it's,
Chateau Montelena sounds French, but it is a Napa Valley.
so
winery.
whenever you look at like that is not that much time. Whenever you're looking at winemaking,
No,
and
they're fairly new
really
to the
not.
game.
So I mean, New Kid on the Block, I think like within the last it's
Not few years,
in
few
the-
decades.
right, but in the stance of winemaking, they really are the new kid on the block. You know, they are the new world wines.
Right.
So I mean, it's a different way of presentation. It's a different way of doing things. I mean, also the vines. Like if you look at just the vine ages between the two, it's
Well,
it
that's
can
a
be.
whole
I know,
loophole
I
of
can get-
episodes.
I can get nerdy.
Now you're talking in my realm.
But
I love
Old vines
old
is-
vines.
yeah,
Old vines. I mean, I'll even visit like 50-year-old vines, 50-plus
Oh,
year
wow.
old vines.
You got him started.
yeah.
Ah,
yeah.
man.
See? This
old
is a
vines
whole-
are just, they create this certain aspect in a
I-
wine that is very
I
desirable
learned
for
why
me.
recently. Like this weekend, I was scrolling through Instagram and I
He
saw.
said, I know why.
I learned
Okay.
why. Because the roots go through so many different layers of soil that they can pick up all
They're
of that.
pulling nutrients
Yes.
from so many
It's
sub
wild.
layers.
I'm sorry, that was a very
Yeah,
nerdy
wild.
moment.
Now we're geeking out.
Yeah.
See, this is the journey.
We're gonna continue this.
Yeah.
We're gonna continue this conversation off camera, but for now, it's been a great week. Thank y'all for joining along. We'll see y'all next Thursday. I'm Chase.
Okay,
Thanks, guys.
and go try something you haven't tried before.
See you next week.